This is Manchester United, one of the biggest football clubs on the planet, a club built on legends, history, and more importantly, a youth academy that once changed football forever. But today, that's not the case. Manchester United underutilise their youth, and it's a big problem for fans. So today, I'm doing the unthinkable. I am getting rid of every single player that is not homegrown at the club and rebuilding Manchester United into treble winners, using youth, courage, and success. Every single senior player which is not homegrown at the club will be gone, and we will be using a team built of only youth academy homegrown stars using a Sir Alex Ferguson 4-4-2. And there is also a couple of custom wonder kids coming along in the future to help us along our journey. So without further ado, let's get into the Manchester United Youth Only Football Manager 26 rebuild. Now I think it's important to start with some context because this is the current Manchester United side, and I'm actually quite a big fan of what's currently going on with Bruno Fernandes, Benjamin Sesko, Brighton Boomer, Mateus Cunha, but we have lost our way with the youth. Not even Kempi, who could be one of the best youth academy players I've seen at Manchester United in the last 15 years, can get into this team. And that's got to change. And over the next month, in real life as I record this, AFCON is about to happen. We're about to lose Ahmad, Mbumo and Mazraoui, and we're going to have to rely on some youth players. Someone like Shea Lacey, who has been in and around the first team for so long, is going to have to be used over the next few weeks. The same goes, of course, with Kobbie Mainoo, and I would also be including Chido Obi and Aiden Heaven in this experiment, as according to FM, they are homegrown at club as they joined young enough to get that status, despite being signed from Arsenal when they are both 16 and 17. Which means that with all of that, with this team, which is currently built off a Sir Alex Ferguson 4-4-2 system, it's going to change dramatically. Because after over a month of me selling players and getting the squad to where it should be, this is how we now look. And this is the start point of our Wonder Kid journey using youth-only players with Manchester United. Now you'll notice that the pen is enabled for this video because I've made myself unsackable, because it is going to be a ridiculously hard challenge with a club which have ridiculously high expectations. I mean, for example, right now we are bottom of the Premier League on 0 points after 5 games. This is going to be an incredible journey, and like I said, it's going to go all the way until we become Champions League, Premier League and FA Cup winners, lifting a famous treble like 1999. It is also worth noting that a lot of players' star potential ability and current ability have changed, purely because this is the level of our squad, so stars do change based on the squad that you've got around them, rather than like they've got loads better in current ability. For example, Tom Heaton, who's a 4-star player, this is his current stats. Of course, homegrown at the club, and you can see on this list here, everyone here is either homegrown at club or homegrown in nation, with it being trained to be homegrown at club in the next 3 years. There's a couple of exceptions. Lenny Yoro was on this list. I sold him as I don't believe that can be classified as a £50 million transfer. And the same goes for Luke Shaw as well. So our current highest ability players, we're looking at Jack and Tyler Fletcher. Both of them as central midfielders, could progress into becoming Manchester United level players. James Overy at wing back, Chido Obi up front. I've got high hopes for this guy on FM26 to carry us to glory. Diego Leon coming in at left back. I have included him because of how young he was signed, and obviously not for a big fee. Sekou Kone coming in as a Malian central midfielder, could progress into our starting central midfielder. Goodwill Kokonki, Amir Ibrahimov is someone that I believe could be a superstar as well. And then we go on to the likes of Jaden Nwashi, who is 16 years of age, now 17, looks incredible. Yuel Helafeu, again, looks amazing, has been smashing it in real life in the under-18s. And of course, then the players which are looking to play in real life, like Aiden Heaven, who's started the last couple of games for United at centre-back, Kobbie Mainoo, who can't for the life of him get in the team, but certainly should be, and then Shea Lacey, who is going to be, hopefully, our king for the whole of this rebuild. But don't forget, over the next 2 seasons, there will be 2 more Wonder Kids joining this team, which are hotly tipped in real life to go on to be incredible. So of course, this is what the current team looks like, and I'm not going to go through every single player right at the start here. As I said, they're all pretty much their base stats, with a little bit upgraded based on the fact they've played games already in the Premier League, and I do expect a lot of these players to grow very, very quickly because of playing against stronger opposition and getting lots of game time in incredible facilities. The good thing here at United is the superb youth facilities, so anyone we get come up through the academy will be training in the best places, and superb training facilities as well, and the fact that, of course, due to selling everyone, We have basically cleared all the debt of the club. There was 634 million. There's now only 78 million, and there's 800 million pounds in the overall balance. So, I mean, this save file, regardless, which will be available on the Patreon with the Sir Alex Ferguson tactics for £3, or if you want to help support on a monthly basis for £5 a month. What you could do, if you want to start at the end of this first season, which will be available in the Patreon, you do straight away have a completely blank canvas at Manchester United with over £1 billion in the bank and no debt. And one of the biggest clubs in the world, which constantly make money while only having homegrown talent. Not a bad place to start. But like I said, currently things are going pretty bad. I mean, not quite as bad as they could be going. For example, we only lost 2-0 to Arsenal. We lost 3-1 to City. And we lost 3-1 to Chelsea. But it's the losses against Burnley, Fulham and Leicester which really worry me. But the good thing is, of course, these players are going to get better over the course of the season. So as them Wonder Kids get better, play more games, develop as stars, hopefully by the end of the season, we should be on a bit of a basis to stay up in the Premier League. And that is the simple goal for this first season, is simply stay up, which I think says something about the current state of the Manchester United academy players. There's not a lot that's like on the edge of the first team, other than Aiden Heaven, Mainu, Chido, Shea Lacey. Really, we're looking at players which aren't quite at the level. Someone like Bendita Mantato hasn't quite reached that level yet. Gabriel Biancheri, at 19 years of age, you'd expect to have kicked on and gone on to be, a starter by now, or gone on loan to the Championship, etc. Hasn't quite happened. Jack Fletcher is only 18 years of age. I mean, you can't be expecting him to start in, week out. And I think something that this is sort of pointing out to me straight away is actually there's not loads of straight away surefire options for Ruben Amorim to chuck into the first team. But what he should be doing is utilising players like Mainu, like Lacey, like Obi, like Heaven a lot more, rather than throwing under the bus, which is what he's done in real life. For example, like the comments about the lone players of Harry Amas and Toby Collier struggling in the Championship, when actually Harry Amas was Player of the Month for November, Sheffield Wednesday, and Toby Collier is injured at West Brom. It is just unfair, and I don't really rate that side of Ruben. He's brought into the club as someone that likes to bring in youth players. I've not seen that so far, and that's the one thing that really worries me about him, is his inability to progress up youth players. But hopefully that can change with AFCON. He can bring a few players in like Shea Lacey, like Mainu, play more games, and they can prove they should be starting for Manchester United. Because at the end of the day, you have to prove you're good enough to play one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's not just a given, you get that luxury. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see if we can save Manchester United from relegation in Season 1 using only youth academy stars. I want you guys to get your comments in down below who you think is going to help us win the treble. Whether that's 5, 10, 15 seasons down the line, which current academy stars do you think are going to be in this team by the end of this rebuild? If you get it right, I'll let you know in the comments down below. Now, we're going to come back a little bit earlier for this first season because it is youth intake day. And quite excitingly, we have had some pretty good young players come into the team, which is a fantastic start to this rebuild. We actually had a little bit of a golden generation this year, which is so lucky because this is what's going to help us over the next few seasons. For example, there is 3 2-star players in the under-18 straight away. Michael Berger, Sam Hawkins, and Ryan Humphreys, which all are going to be able to come into the first team and help us straight away. And that is going to be needed because we are struggling. We lose to Liverpool 6-0, Spurs 3-1, Palace 4-0, 3-1 against Wolves, and then the most painful one is probably this 8-1 against Arsenal. We are losing games quite heavily and are in dire need of our youngsters progressing and some young talent coming into the team. But it's not all doom and gloom. We are winning games as well, like this 1-0 thanks to a 98th minute Chido Obi pen. Are we going to bring back the good old Sir Alex Ferguson Fergie time? It's not all doom and gloom. Like I've said, this tactic is actually very good. It is inspired by a Sir Alex Ferguson 4-4-2, and them strikers link up so often to score so many goals. And we've also managed to emulate the Cristiano Ronaldo role on the right-hand side with Shea Lacey, which I absolutely love, as this kid could be an absolute star throughout this rebuild. Lacey himself has gone up in a whole bunch of stats this year and currently has 7 goal contributions in 29 games, which for an 18-year-old in his first season in the Premier League isn't too bad at all. While up front, we are quite clearly being carried by Chido Obi, who has 13 goals in 28 games, which is actually an incredible record. I am very impressed by how good Chido has been from day one. And in all fairness to him, Gabriel Biancheri as well has got 7 goal contributions and a 6.8 average rating so far this season, being one of the better players in the club. but we need to fill out that left wing position. We've got our Shea Lacey on the right, and now we've got our 15-year-old JJ Gabriel on the left-hand side. Yes, I've created JJ Gabriel throughout this rebuild as he looks to be one of the best young academy stars in world football, not just at Manchester United. You can see I've developed him into nowhere near like a meta breaker player whatsoever. I've kind of just gone, what a decent left winger could be like. The kid's literally like 14 in real life, 15 maybe, smashing up under 21s and under 18s football, which is unheard of. And I think it's only right that we get him in this rebuild. So again, in the end of season 1 rebuild file, there will be JJ Gabriel in the Manchester United side. I have given him a fairly decent potential, but I think with degree, it's probably about right. I'll give him 190 potential ability, but only 83 in terms of his current abilities. So he's going to have to work a lot harder to reach that potential. And I think it's only fair. JJ Gabriel in real life looks like an academy star, which very similar to like Max Dowman, could go on to do unspeakable things. So a 190 potential ability gets him in and around the likes of the best players in the world while not reaching Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland numbers. And I think that's only fair. So JJ Gabriel joins us now. And I'm excited to see over the next 2 months, can he save us? Because we are currently languishing down in the relegation zone on 26 points, but only 2 points away from Nottingham Forest and only 4 points away from Sunderland. And exactly as I predicted, the form has got better as we've gone through the season. The start was abysmal and it took us a while to really start to kick into it. But by the time we got to the middle of January, despite that 8-1 loss against Arsenal, we have picked up some consistency and are starting to win some games. To finish off the season, it's not going to be easy. We've got Leeds, Brentford, Sunderland, Forest and Brighton, which I would like to try and win 3 of them games at least, which I think would give us safety and probably resign to the defeat against Liverpool and against Chelsea. So with our final 7 games of the season, can we survive with now JJ Gabriel in the team as well? Well, as expected, we did lose our games against Chelsea and Liverpool and also drop points against Sunderland and Brighton. But at home, we turned Old Trafford into a fortress once again, winning all 3 of our final games against Nottingham Forest, a 4-0 against Brentford, and a 1-0 victory against Leeds. And thanks to them 9 points and the couple of draws we picked up, we were safe in the Premier League on 37 points. Just 2 points above for the relegation place, but I think only 1 place lower than what Manchester United finished last season in real life with like a £1 billion squad. So youth only is the way to go. Now, of course, things look very different in real life currently. I'm expecting a top 5 finish. United fans, let me know what you think we're going to finish in real life. But 16th place, considering the massive change which has happened this season, isn't too bad at all. You can see, of course, Chidobe ended up finishing on 15 games. We did play JJ Gabriel for a game. He got a 6.3 average rating and his stats have gone down. Not good. Not a great start for him, but at just 15 years of age, I wanted to give him a little chance and see what he could do. I'm really expecting him to be a superstar, and I'm interested to see as well how many caps he can get for England because he looked absolutely brilliant. Chidobe, as I said, are one of our best players this season, and Kempi was one of our best as well in a 6.81. 2 goals, 3 assists, didn't stand out and develop loads, and to be honest, is actually unhappy and asking to leave, which isn't ideal. But Kempi won't be going anywhere. He is hopefully going to be the long-term captain for this side. I understand his frustration. We've lost all the star players. He is more than good enough to be in this team currently. And he obviously wants to leave. Harry Amas did come back in the club in January after his Sheffield Wednesday loan. And he started 19 games, got 2 assists. And looking to be our long-term left-back option, which is great. And at centre-back as well, we have Aidan Heaven, who played 36 games on a 6.84. And looks to potentially be like our stalwart in the defence for the whole of this rebuild, which is absolutely fantastic. But the big issue for us is Tom Heaton. He was okay this season, a 6.91 average rating. But at 40 years of age, Tom is retiring. And we don't exactly have lots of goalkeepers at the club, which I'm confident can come in and really change the game. Looking into the current ability, our best is Cameron Byrne Hughes, who is a Welsh goalkeeper who doesn't look amazing, I've got to be honest. And after that, it's possibly Charlie Hardy or Dermot Lee. But I just remembered we have someone out on loan. Yes, Radek Vitek is back at the club after his loan spell at Bristol City, where he seems to be impressing loads in real life, which is a fantastic thing, and could potentially go on to be a backup goalkeeper at Manchester United behind Stenny Lomans. But has played 37 games on this save and has been brilliant, and is now going to come in to be our starting number one. So actually, I don't know what all the fuss was about. We've got our number one. It's Radek Vitek. And looking into the team, I think we're getting somewhere with our set 11. Of course, we have Chido and Beyond Sherry up front. In terms of other striking options, there is Nathaniel Ajayi, who has started to play a few games in real life and catch the eye as well for the under-18s. He looks very decent and is progressing really well. And we also have another guy which I want to touch on in Ibrahimovic Fletcher, who scored only 1 goal this season, but with 13 determination, decent physicals, 10 finishing, 12 composure. This guy could also go on to be an absolute star for us, as could Amir Ibrahimov. Now, Amir has had to do a lot of training this season to play in a central midfield position. He is naturally a striker, cam, or left wing, but we are training him to be a central midfielder, so we're going to have Ibrahimov and Kobe Mainu in the midfield. That is my potential long-term goal, and if that doesn't work out, and of course we do have the Fletcher brothers in the midfield who could also come in and dominate, or Sekou Kone as well. So there are so many options. There are so many different outcomes throughout this rebuild, which is why I'm so excited. As a United fan, it's great fun using the academy and using these young stars in real life, which you never know, could go on to play for United, could go on to have a professional career in football. Regardless, we're giving them the chance to thrive. And I'm hoping one day, 3, 4, maybe 5 of them players can be in the starting lineup when we win the treble. Now, of course, despite our £693 million transfer budget, there will be no transfers throughout the course of this rebuild. So there is no transfers to be done whatsoever. So every single time we come back now, it's pretty much going to be a recap on the last few years, the last season, however things are going. And hopefully we can see this United team develop into an academy, real workhorse, and eventually champions of the Premier League, the Europe, and the FA Cup. And there is just one final person to touch on, and that is Marcus Rashford. Out of the sort of thing which has gone on in real life, I don't think Marcus is coming back. And I do also think in this save in particular, he would block the pathway for JJ Gabriel. So I am saying goodbye to Marcus Rashford, despite him obviously being homegrown at club. He's an absolute legend in my eyes. I've got pretty much every single Rashford shirt at United from the day he started. A shame to see the way it's gone, but for this rebuild, Rashford will not be part of the youth-only rebuild. So now that we've zoomed on into season number 2, it is fantastic to confirm that we have got our number 1 goalkeeper for what I hope for the whole rebuild. Radek Vitek this season got a 7.18 average rating, conceded just 38 goals in 37 games in the Premier League, and having this guy in goal with 19 jumping reach, 18 area reach is an absolute game changer to how this team can perform. Speaking of game changers, that's not what Chido Obi was this season. In fact, he only scored 4 goals and got 9 assists for the whole season on a 6.87 average rating. I'm not sure what's happened, but Chido completely fell off. And we had to rely on a few other young stars to score our goals. Gabriel Biancheri was actually our top goal scorer this season on 10 goals, but Ethan Wheatley also impressed once he was back at the club. We also had to see a lot of goals come from the midfield, and luckily for us, Kobe Mainu was an absolute bagsman this year, as was his midfield partner, who after his decent loan spell at West Brom, came back into the team in Toby Collier as we beat Spurs 2-0 on the final day of the season. And in the game just before that, we saw what JJ Gabriel was all about in a 1-0 victory against Bournemouth, cutting in from the right-hand side and finding the top corner wearing the iconic number 7. JJ this season started just 4 games, had 4 games off the bench and scored a bunch of goals, but had a massive progression season in non-competitive games, playing 48, grabbing 8 goals and grabbing 19 assists and over a 7 average rating. And in the Virtu Cup against, lower ranked opposition, got 3 assists, 1 goals and a 7.18 average rating, which is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted him to have a year progressing as a player in the younger teams and using his experience with the first team to train and play a few games here and there to start to develop his game. Now you can see he's not got up crazy in stats whatsoever. So like I said, he's going to have to work very hard to get that 190 current ability. but what we have seen is a bit of progression in his mental stats, in his game time, which is very important for a 16-year-old. Speaking of 16-year-olds, we've also got Kai Rooney at the club, who is the second and final sort of like hidden wonder kid that I've put into the universe, because Kai Rooney at Manchester United has now played a few games the under-18s. Do you know how insane that is? Wayne Rooney's son is now playing games for the United under-18s, and based on what we've seen of him, he looks really good. He's torn it up in youth levels as he's got up to this level. And I don't know if he's ever going to make it at United. No one will ever know until he potentially does. But the fact he's even playing under-18s football at Manchester United is incredible. And Wayne Rooney is one of my favourite players of all time. I thought it was only right to get Kai Rooney into this rebuild as well. In terms of his potential, I'll give him 180. It's a quite a high potential, probably around like, what we're saying, striker-wise. Like probably what Sesko's elite potential would be is what I've given Kai Rooney as well. I mean, it's probably like what his dad was. I mean, Rooney was 200, let's be honest. But I've given him like a slightly worse than his dad. I made him a deep lying forward, given him good finishing, good composure, good physicals. Of course, this is a video game. We are here to have fun. We are doing a youth-only experiment where I've ripped out the complete core of Manchester United. So apologies if you don't know the fact we've got JJ Gabriel and Kai Rooney into it. For me, I think this adds an extra layer to the video and a layer to the experiment as well of seeing if these young stars can make it up at just 16 and 17 years of age. And what I will say is they're going to have to work hard to get into this team, because we've just finished 9th in the Premier League in just season number 2. Did have a negative 8 goal difference, only scoring 31 goals this season, but we only conceded 39 and got 50 points. Means defensively, we're doing fantastic. So maybe actually them two could help out in the front line. In terms of the current defence we've got at the club, it is Vitek in goal, Jaden Camerson at right back, who looks like a really good talent in real life, with Tyler Fredrickson and Aidan Heaven making up the 2 centre-back roles, with Harry Yamas as our left back. We have, of course, Mainu in midfield next to Toby Collier, who has been really good for us this season, with Lacey, Ethan Williams, Chidobe and Beyond Sherry as our strikers. Beyond Sherry was actually our top goal scorer this year, 10 goals in 26 games. I'm really impressed despite not having the greatest of stats. No, I don't think this guy's going to really stay in the first team for long, as he does only have 5 determination and a balanced personality type. I just think this is probably his maximum ability, and sadly isn't going to be someone that progresses too much in this team. It's really hard to actually differentiate and show you guys the high potential players, because there is like, what, 22 5-star potential players in this first team. But someone that I do think is going to do really well throughout this video is going to be Jaden Iwashi, because he's so quick. 15 pace, 14 acceleration at centre back is elite, with already really good defensive stats, and did play 13 games for us this season. In terms of regens, when they start to break into the first team, we'll go more in depth on them as well. And in terms of our players which are potentially going to break into the team, I'd love to see Jim Thwaites become a starter for us. There is so much competition in that midfield. We have Mainu, Collier, Emir Ibragimov, Jim Thwaites, Tyler and Jack Fletcher. There's not many positions available, and there's a lot of stars. So sadly, some of them won't progress into first team players for us. But Jim Thwaites is someone which I do have high hopes for. I am also utilising the loan market quite a lot as well. We sent out 13 players this summer, and every single season I will be going through, loaning out a bunch of players and making sure players aren't just sitting around playing under 21s football when they should be getting better minutes. I will be using the loan system a lot. Interestingly enough as well, we have also had Christian Orozco join the club. This is a signing in real life that Manchester United have made, like a 16-year-old playing in Colombia, now joined the club. And I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to be in the first team. He can get the homegrown at club status. Of course, it's a signing which predates me. But I genuinely believe he probably won't become anything because of the amount of talent we've got in this first team in the central midfield positions. But now it's time to see who actually progresses over the next few seasons, which were all very similar. Season number 3, we finished down in 13th place on 43 points. Season 4 was basically the same, down in 13th place, once again on 44 points. And Season 5 finished down in 14th place on 43 points. So we have really solidified ourselves as a lower mid-table Premier League side. But I don't hate that, because there has been a lot of progression over the last 3 seasons. Now in the year 2030, this is our new look Manchester United side, with Chidobe still up front, still as our star striker, and has progressed into an absolute menace. Now has 6 caps for the Danish national team, 15 finishing, 16 composure, fantastic physicals, is now a decent Premier League striker with a value of £70 million. The issue is his partner. The best player we've got to partner him is Edward Ibrahimovic Fletcher, who, yes, has a £50 million transfer value, but I don't think he's amazing. He's got 13 determination, 16 flair, okay physicals, okay technicals, but is still doing bits for us up front, scoring 8 goals this season. Cheeto, on the other hand, scored 21. The best thing that's happened is the development of JJ Gabriel, who now at 19 years of age has 17 dribbling, 16 composure, elite physical stats, and is in his first year this year after 5 seasons being a starter at Manchester United. 29 starts, 6 goals, 6 assists. That is what we love to see. And on the right hand side, Shea Lacey is also progressing into a top tier player. 16 dribbling, fantastic physicals, and good determination, and for us this year had 5 goals and 10 assists. Now, of course, the difference here is Shea Lacey has been a starter for us now for all 5 seasons, and he's pretty much at his maximum, I would say. I mean, let's just check out his sort of potential ability. Is actually 174. Has got a long way to go if he wants to go there. Just needs to attempt to develop him a little bit more. But Shea Lacey now, over 5 seasons, has played pretty much every single game, and this year was his best in terms of goals and assists output, but one of his worst in terms of average rating, which is interesting, but I do think he's got the talent to become a star for us. Interesting enough, in midfield, it is still Kobbie Mainoo, who now at 25 years of age is the Manchester United captain, and Toby Collier, who at 26 years of age has developed into a really good, well-rounded midfielder. There's no surprise that at left back, Harry Amas has continued to thrive with his electric pace and now great crossing. We actually look like we've got a team which can start to challenge for European places, and the best thing is it's all youth now as well. On the right hand side, we've got our first regen in the team. It's Morgan Mumford, a 20-year-old Welsh capped international with good speed, crossing and determination. And as centre back, we now officially have Jayden Iwashi with 17 pace while being 6'2", partnering Aiden Heaven. These two, I think, will be the centre back partnership for the whole of this rebuild, with Radek Vitek in goal as well, progressing into a top tier Premier League goalkeeper. We now have a solidified first team. A good striker, we need the other one to develop. A great midfield four, in my opinion. A really good defensive four, and a star goalkeeper. And I think now that we've had the slog of this rebuild, the first 5 seasons, getting us back to being a decent Premier League side, which, let's be honest, is what we are in real life now. Now it's time to see if we can develop these youngsters to becoming starting first team Champions League ready players. In terms of potential with the squad, JJ Gabriel was still the highest, and Jayden Iwashi is just behind him. We do have Gregory Goroff, who is a young central midfielder from France, who has 5-star potential as well. A young goalkeeper in Alex Spanu with 17 determination, who could become our number 1. A few others in here like Liam Reddy, Carl Turner, Regan Gainwell, and Chido Obi, of course, as one of the best players in the entire squad. Interesting to see, and it's JJ Gabriel, Jayden Iwashi, Collier, Heaven, Vitek, Chido Obi, Amas, Ibrahimovic, and then Mainoo as our best players. Mainoo just really hasn't progressed in this rebuild, which is really, really weird, because he's had the game time which we've all wanted to see in real life. He's just not been that good for us, which has been very strange. In terms of his potential ability, he's also got a long way to go. So maybe playing European football will help progress Mainoo a whole bunch. Which, now that we're in 2030, has to be the goal. And I think with the finish we've had to this season, going unbeaten in our last 7 games, it is certainly possible that we can make European football back in Manchester United and back at Old Trafford for 2031. The other player that I want to touch on is Kai Rooney, because of course he is our other young player that we have brought in to the game as a custom player. And after last season, he scored 2 goals in 6 games, played really well. The season before that, 2 goals in 7 games, was doing really well, and this year was pretty rubbish. And now at 20 years of age, this is Kai Rooney, a very averagely rated striker at Manchester United. So even with the fact that he's got that crazy high potential, I don't think Kai is ever going to hit them heights. We will have to wait and see, because in the non-competitive world, he's absolutely smashing it with 39 goal contributions in 39 games. He might just need a few loan spells, and like I said, I have been utilising the loans a lot. For example, this season alone, we've had 23 players go out on loan, and we are really trying to develop players out on the loan list, as well as them just being in and around the first team. But like I said, the goal for season 6 has to be making this Manchester United team a European side once again, and potentially lifting our first trophy. I think we're at that stage in the rebuild now. And this year was nearly the year we made that cup dream happen. But in the Carabao Cup, we got to the semi-finals. Despite beating Newcastle 2-1 in the first leg, we lost 2-0 in the second. So that cup victory is going to have to wait. Because we also pushed Liverpool all the way in the 5th round of the FA Cup to penalties, but sadly lost thanks to a miss from Kyle Turner, who, by the way, could be the future strike partner for Chido Obi. He looks like he could become a really good striker at just 19 years of age. But this year in particular was the real breakout year for our superstar in JJ Gabriel, who off that left-hand side was just an absolute menace and scored the winning goal here in this game against Liverpool. This season, he had his best average rating yet on a 6.92 with 6 assists in 26 Premier League games, but has also had a big injury as well, which is not ideal for such a young player to have. And that's of course something which we cannot control in this video. If our youngsters get injuries, we've got to hope they bounce back. What was important this year was the goals from Chido Obi, who had his best career goal season this year, 19 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League. And his strike partner, despite me think he doesn't look fantastic, could be Edward Ibrahimovic-Fletcher with 22 goal contributions, 11 goals, 11 assists. He was unreal this year on a 7.18 average rating. It's pretty awesome to see Jim Thwaites at 23 years of age still at Manchester United and playing as one of the best rotational players in the team. Toby Collier also doing bits, Jayden Iwashi in heaven also being fantastic, and Mainu still just plodding along as a pretty much average player for us. Alex Banu was our backup goalkeeper when he played, was absolutely brilliant, but it really was our strike partnership which dominated for us this season and allowed us to, for the first time in this rebuild, qualify for European football using only youth academy stars. It has taken 6 seasons to take United from clearing out the whole club, bringing in all the youth, and now being back in Europe. And this is the start of the rebuild, really, because we now have our first team set up. We have players reaching their potential, and we are now on the mission to win the treble. It'll be awesome to see if we can win other competition on the way, but it all starts here in season number 6 to attempt to become the best in the world once again. But in the same fashion as last season's Carabao Cup, we faced Newcastle in the quarterfinals and lost over both legs, and they knocked us out in the Europa League. Sadly, this competition is going to have to wait, but it is a competition that I would love to win. But once again, in the Premier League, we were continuing to impress and continuing to build on last season's finish. And a lot of that comes down to that man, JJ Gabriel. He is an absolute magician. In this game against Arsenal, it was just simply magical to see some of the young stars, which are so exciting in real life, really start to dominate in the Premier League. With that goal coming from Amir Ibrahimov and this one coming from Bendito Mentato, set up from Ibrahimov, we beat Arsenal 3-1 away from home and finished just behind them in the Premier League in 6th place, meaning we qualified for the Europa League once again. But this year was our best by far, this time actually outscoring the goals we conceded and having a positive goal difference, which has been a long time coming. 59 points. Granted, quite a way off Liverpool on 98 and quite a way off Arsenal on 72 in 5th place, but now recognised as the best of the rest of the top 5 in the Premier League. And a reminder that we are literally using youth academy players only. Our team average age is 21. We are set up for the future. We are the 10th best ranked club, and we are clearly outperforming that with these young stars in the team. This year we saw an absolute monstrous season from Chido, who has now started to really become one of the best strikers in modern day football with 36 goals in 48 games and 6 assists. We're lucky this guy can be classed as homegrown at club because it's a little bit controversial. Of course, coming up through the Arsenal Academy, signed for United when he was 16, he qualifies for the challenge. And my God, am I happy that he does, because he is absolutely unreal. In terms of other stars, once again, Edward Ibrahimovic-Fletcher grabbed a double-figure goal and assist with 20 goal contributions. Mantato grabbed 14 goal contributions in just 19 starts. Shea Lacey grabbing 16 and JJ Gabriel grabbing 15. We are starting to get that creative team together. Amir Ibrahimov with 8 goal contributions as well. And Toby Collier, who's actually taken the captain's armband now, with also 8 goal contributions. Mainu, I don't know what's happened to him. Kobbie Mainu is just the most average player on this game for some reason, which is such a shame. Hopefully he can progress. He's got the potential ability there on his game card to go into like a 174. He just isn't doing it, which is so strange. But one thing's for sure is that the academy here at Manchester United is just absolutely incredible. The top 5 or 6 players in the team are all regens now with 5-star potential, which is incredible. On JJ Gabriel, I did actually use a 5-star potential player and just changed his name and changed a few stats around. I didn't give myself an extra player. I did, of course, give him crazy potential ability because it's JJ Gabriel. But like, I took away a 5-star player to get him. Under 18s, there is more talent as well, all in the team. And the under 21s, there's a bunch of players still that are going out on loan and attempting to see if they can break into the first team. In terms of average age now, we are looking at having a few players on the sort of in their prime. Collier, Vitek, Mainu are all 27 plus. And then we have this sort of range now of 25 to 23, where a few players can still break out and become starters. But if they're not now in the first team and playing lots of games, they probably won't be. Sadly, that's the likes of Jack Fletcher, the likes of Jim Thwaites, the likes potentially of Goodwill Kokonki, who sadly probably aren't going to be part of Manchester United's team for much longer. I mean, Jim Thwaites, for example, his contract is running out right now. He has actually progressed into a really good player, but due to the fact that having Collier, Mainu, and a bunch of other stars as well, he hasn't quite made it into the team. But maybe in a rebuild in the future, we'll see Jim Thwaites become a star for United. But could this be the year that we lift our first trophy in season number 8? And if we wanted some of these older star players to really get their chance, we would have to do that now and start to build for the treble winning side, as it's not long until the likes of Mainu will no longer be part of this team. 4 or 5 years time down the line, I don't think they're going to be star players anymore. So the time is now to start building a dynasty. And for the first time in our league phase journey in the Europa League, we finished in the top 8, finishing in 4th place behind PSV, Porto and Leicester. But can we put that all together and become Europa League champions? With the likes of JJ Gabriel in the team is certainly a chance. He bagged a hat-trick in the round of 16 against Bilbao to send us into the quarterfinals. We faced up against Leicester. We beat them 2-0 in the first leg, goals from JJ Gabriel and Shea Lacey, but it went all the way to penalties in the second. And thanks to misses from Jerry Monga and Tokola Mati, we did manage to squeak on through to the semi-finals. We faced SK Rapid, beat them 1-0 in the first leg and 2-0 in the second, sending us into the final against Bayer Leverkusen. And this game took all the way to extra time to get a breakthrough in, but Harry Yamas, driving down the left-hand side, found Chido in the box to make it 1-0 and make Manchester United champions of the Europa League. And as you can see from the stats in this game, it is so deserved as well. And we have obviously become a very good side. 25 shots, 55% possession, 11 shots on target, absolutely dominating the match momentum as well against a good Bayer Leverkusen side. And thanks to that, it of course means we're in Champions League football next season, which is fantastic because we actually didn't qualify for it this year. We didn't qualify for any Europe this year through the league, finished down in 9th place, but with the extra games in the league, etc., in the Europa League and stuff like that, it's kind of to be expected that we drop off a little bit, as of course we can't sign anyone, so it's all youth academy players, so our backups aren't quite as good as they'd normally be, but we've still done very well to finish down in 9th place and now in the Champions League for season number 9. This year, of course, once again, Chido was incredible, grabbing 27 goals and 8 assists overall. But we are now officially moving into the JJ Gabriel era. 12 goal contributions to the Premier League, now 11 caps for England and 6 goals. There is finally a Manchester United Youth Academy star in the England national team once again, and his name is JJ Gabriel, and he looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, I think I've done so well at creating someone here who is very, very good, but also isn't game-breakingly good. Like, he's got speed, he's got dribbling, he's got technique, he's got composure, but he's not like 20 in certain stats. And in terms of room to grow as well, he hasn't really got much more to go. He has 185 credibility now of 190, and I would say this is actually a very decently built card for him, where he's not too meta, not too overpowered, but still so enjoyable to watch in the match engine. His flair, his trickery, his dribbling ability is insane to watch on FM26. And the same goes for Shea Lacey, someone who isn't quite going to reach them dizzy heights, get England caps, etc. But because of his 17 dribbling, his speed, his 19 flair, is so fun to watch in the match engine. And part of the thing that I wanted to do with this United side is bring back the 4-4-2, bring back the exciting football. Having them wingers which can bomb on down the line like Lacey and Gabriel and really attack fullbacks and cross balls in to strikers in the box, and the two strikers linking up beautifully is exactly what I wanted to see, and something that we have seen throughout this rebuild. And it's been very fun to play as United in this way. And again, like I said, this is available on the Patreon down below. If I can just ask more importantly though, if you have enjoyed this video so far and you're still watching, make sure to smash a like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet ever hyped a video before, you head down to the comment section, swipe on mobile to the right, you can hype a video, and it helps push it into the algorithm to reach new people who might enjoy this video, and it helps me out so much as a creator. So if you can smash the like button, comment down below and hype, I'd be so grateful, and like the video as well. And once again, we've had like another little mini golden generation come through, as there is 4 5-star players which could be coming into the team over the next few years. It is a never-ending wonder kid factory here at United. One thing that I want to just point out, which I'm quite disappointed in FM for, is the fact they haven't got a new stadium being built for United. We are, of course, now in the year 2033, and we are still at Old Trafford. It's not been rebuilt. It's not been anything done to it. And it says immaculate in terms of how it is. I don't quite believe that. But it's been disappointing, to be fair, that we haven't actually built a new stadium, especially the fact that there's £1.2 million in overall balance. Sorry, £billion in overall balance to spend. And if I wanted to in transfers, they'd allow me to spend 811 million. I mean, we could spend £1 billion and 450k in wage budget. We're stupidly mega rich, but we won't build a new stadium, which is crazy. I mean, I can't believe that. But yeah, this United team is incredible now. But Season 9 now feels like the start of a brand new journey, as we are a Champions League side once again. And this season came down in 13th place in the league phase, in and around Arsenal and Manchester City. So proving that we could put ourselves with the big boys in the Premier League on the European stage as well. And interestingly enough, in terms of teams in England winning the Champions League, it has been dominated by Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and last season Arsenal. But Liverpool lifting 4 UCLs. I mean, we've got to win a couple before this video ends, surely. At least one to make it a treble. But yeah, a bit disgusting how good Liverpool have been, and Chelsea being the bridesmaid in the final as well, twice back-to-back losing to Barca and Real Madrid. I hope that doesn't happen to us. Now, I was never expecting to win the Champions League this season, but luckily for us, we did go through in the knockout playoff round against Benfica, and then faced Real Madrid and beat them 2-1 in the first leg, with a brace coming in from Edward Ibrahimovic Fletcher. But in the second leg at the Bernabeu, we got pulled apart in extra time, ended up winning a 5-1, which seems a bit unfair, considering we took them to extra time. But 97th minute, 103rd, and 116th, Real Madrid do beat us, and we come crashing out of the Champions League. We've just got to try and make it back there through our league form. And thanks to a fantastic end to the season with victories over Wolves, a draw against Watford, and then victories over QPR, Ipswich, Aston Villa, and Everton to finish off the season with Kai Rooney getting on the score sheet with JJ Gabriel. We were able to secure Champions League football by a singular point, beating Everton on that final day to leapfrog them up to 4th place and make Manchester United a Champions League side for back-to-back seasons, and this time through the league as well, showing us now a consistent side, not just a side that can win cup competitions. We've actually built a team which can consistently compete across a whole season. And this year, we actually saw Kai Rooney break into the first team a little bit. He started 5 games, got 2 goals and a 7.04 average rating. And for the first time in this rebuild, I am making a choice that from here on out, Kai Rooney is going to be a starter in this team. The striking options, it's Chido Obi, and then it kind of drops off. I mean, even Edward, who has been really good throughout this rebuild and someone that I really didn't expect to be a star at all in this video, I feel like Kai Rooney's got the potential to become one of the better players in this team still. Now at 24 years of age, maybe like a bit of a Jesse Lingard of the team, still at the club, come up through the academy system, and now sort of 23, 24 years of age, becoming a star. That's the story we're going to go with for Kai Rooney. He needs to be locked in up front for the rest of this rebuild. And hopefully he can do bits, because JJ Gabriel in the left wing is one of the best players at the club, if not the best player at the club now. He is just absolutely fantastic. I mean, this year, 8 goals, 6 assists, loads of caps for England still, absolutely smashing it. And in terms of goals, we are being heavily carried by Cheeto. We just need someone else up there with him. Now, Shea Lacey this year actually outperformed JJ Gabriel, which personally I actually really love to see. He had 13 goals, 16 assists, and the stats seem to have gone up a whole bunch this season. Looks so well-rounded, and I absolutely love to see that. I actually think he could get a cap for England still as well. Of course, we knew that he had that crazy 174 potential, and is now starting to reach it at 27 years of age, becoming a star. Wants a brand new deal. He's only on 90k. Fair enough, Shea. We should probably give you that brand new deal. In terms of other star players as well, it is Ibrahim Valencia, who I feel bad replacing, but I just need that star up front. Morgan Mumford at right back's been brilliant as well. Still Toby Collier in the midfield. And then, where is he? Where's Cobby? There he is. Cobby's still just plodding along at 6.93, being a box standard midfielder, playing every single game, being extremely, extremely average. Really frustrating that this is what Kobe Mainoo has become in this rebuild, considering I feel like kind of the point of this rebuild was that United aren't using their youth academy stars in real life. Mainoo wasn't getting used, and this rebuild is just been extremely average. But anyway, what a fantastic season that is. To get United back into the top 4 now, using only youth-only players, and now, like I said, a balance of over £1.2 billion. I feel like we've really fixed United. It's got us back to youth courage and success. And now it's the fun part of attempting to become treble winners with this side, with JJ Gabriel, Kai Rooney, Chido Obi, Mainoo, Shea Lacey. It's just like a United fan's dream, this video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. But let's see now, going on into season number 10, if we could potentially make us Premier League winners before eventually going on to try and win a treble. Now, this season is the start of what I think is the building to the treble, the building to the dynasty, because we've just gone 3 months without losing a single game, scoring a whole bunch of goals. And while there's a few too many draws in here, I think we're starting to see these youngsters become consistent top-tier performers. And we can even string it together on a cup basis as well. As in the Carabao Cup semi-finals, we faced up against Manchester City, beat them 2-1 in the first leg, lost 2-1 in the second leg, but penalties made us winners. We were going to the final. We were looking to lift only our 2nd trophy of the rebuild, and luckily, thanks to Chido Obi being an absolute bagsman, that's something we could potentially do. He, of course, scored the penalty in the 25th minute, and thanks to some high press from Shea Lacey, found him in the box once again to make it 2-0 in the 37th. And thanks to another assist from our little right winger, Shea Lacey, finding a back post cross to Aiden Heaven, we beat Villa 3-0 in the Carabao Cup and end up lifting our 2nd trophy of the rebuild, our 1st English domestic trophy. It's taken 10 seasons, but I've got to say, we've done this the right way. Look at these stats. We've absolutely dominated Villa. Match momentum shows we were so on top, and I'm so proud of the team that we have now built here at United. Because once again, we've had our best season in the Premier League, building on last season's 4th place. We now finished in 3rd place, just 9 points off the top with Arsenal, and we are really closing in on being the best team in the league. Just a few too many draws in there. Like we said, losses-wise, we're about on track. We can just convert some of them draws into victories. We will make United champions. And thankfully, a lot of that is down to having another striker with Chido Obi, because Kai Rooney scored 20 goals and got 12 assists this season with a 7.15 average rating overall, outperforming his XG as well. Kai Rooney up front for Manchester United is starting to become a good player. I mean, not quite Chido Obi, who grabbed 44 and 9 assists this year, but starting to become good. Shea Lacey is just incredible. 13 goals, 22 assists. He is being insane, and now has made his England debut as well, which we absolutely love to see for Shea. And JJ on the left-hand side, 20 goal contributions. An absolute superstar, a value of 112 million. In terms of other players, Mainu had his best season yet on a 7.06, which is great to see. And Collier in midfield next to him, also smashing it. Someone, again, that I didn't expect to really be a star in this rebuild, but Collier has been so good in the midfield next to Mainu. It is pretty insane just how good Chido has been, it's got to be said. I mean, this guy is just absolutely game-breaking. A 7.62 average rating this season. I actually want to see if he won the Premier League Golden Boot this year. I imagine he probably would have done. He did with 35, and Shea Lacey got most assists as well on 13. We absolutely love to see that. The young stars of United today are becoming stand-up performers in the Premier League 10 years in the future. But we still haven't yet managed to win the Premier League. So let's go on into Season 11, where once again we'll be in the Champions League and, of course, the FA Cup and attempt to win one of them big trophies this year. First up, it's the Champions League, and we had our best performance in the league phase and got all the way to the round of 16 straight away after finishing in the top 8. Lost to Girona in the first leg, but beat them 2-0 in the second leg with goals from JJ Gabriel and Chido Obi, and moved on to the quarterfinals. We faced Man City, drew 0-0 in the first leg and then lost 2-1 despite Kai Rooney scoring. The Champions League won't be coming to us in season number 11. But we are showing clear signs of progression. Because after last season winning our first domestic English trophy in the Carabao Cup, this year we wanted to make it an FA Cup as well. There's absolutely no surprise that Chido scored the opener in the final against Manchester United, and in the second, JJ Gabriel found Ibrahimovic Fletcher to grab a second and lift our first FA Cup of the rebuild in season number 11, making Manchester United champions of one of the most prestigious cup competitions in world football. We have done it. It has taken 11 seasons, but now over the last few years, we've won an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, a Europa League. We're getting to the later stage of the Champions League, and guess what we've won now? On 87 points, Manchester United are Premier League champions, and this has been one of the most enjoyable rebuilds I've ever done because it's been such a long but slow, steady rise, and it's worked all the way to this point. The last 4 seasons we've come 6th, 4th, 3rd, and now 1st. It's been a slow rise after the start of this rebuild, really gelling the team together, but now on 87 points, we managed to make Manchester United Premier League champions with 74 goals, only conceding 30, 27 wins. We've done it. We've made United champions. We've done a double this season, also winning the FA Cup and nearly won the Champions League. Let's be real. We lost to City, who, despite coming 12th in the Premier League, are a very good side. Oh, it makes it even better, the fact that they're so rubbish. But, I mean, this season was just brilliant. And once again, we had a bunch of goals coming in. 57 this year for Chido. I mean, this guy's just absolutely broken. 57 goals is absolutely outrageous. Kai Rooney grabbed 14, JJ Gabriel grabbed 12 and 23 assists, and Shea Lacey grabbed 8 and 20. Mainu with 10 goal contributions, Collier with 7, Mantato still here with 9 goal contributions. Harry Amas as our starting left back is brilliant. Hasn't quite got his England cap yet. Has Shea Lacey had any more? He has had another as well. And of course JJ a bunch as well. I mean, this has been so enjoyable. Kai Rooney, while he's not absolutely incredible, is doing bits as the second striker with Chido. I just absolutely love this rebuild. It's been so fun. And now I think season 12 has to be the year we put everything together. We make Manchester United treble winners once again with only youth players. So here we are, back in an FA Cup final, this time against Brighton. And we went 2 goals down in this game. But like we've sort of said from the very start, we need to get that Fergie time back, that never die attitude back. And Bendito Mantato scored the first in this one. After a lovely, well-worked goal down the left-hand side, Kai Rooney scored the second. And after Kai dropped into the space, found JJ Gabriel to find Amir, he then linked up with his strike partner, Chido Obi, to make it 3-2. And a Kai Rooney brace made Manchester United FA Cup winners once again. But it was the other stars in the Champions League which really helped us. In the round of 16 against PSG, Chido Obi scored in the first game away from home, but in the second grabbed a hat-trick with also a goal coming from JJ Gabriel. Moving on into the quarterfinals, we faced up against Inter Milan, drew 1-1 in the first, but 3-1 in the second. Goals from Nwashi, Mumford, and Regan Greenwell starting to see the regens really come through. In the semis, we played Bayern Munich, Georgi Kanov scored to make it 1-0, and thanks to a 2-2 draw and the late 86th minute goal from Chidowobi, it sent Manchester United to the final of the Champions League. We were facing up against Barcelona, a team which believes in youth as well, but not quite as much as we have shown in this rebuild. Chido scored in 55 minutes to get us off to the lead, and there's absolutely no surprise that this second goal came from Kai Rooney, slotting it through to the big man Chido to make it 2-0 once again, and Manchester United have won the FA Cup against Brighton and now the Champions League against Barcelona. It has taken an absolute journey, but after 12 seasons, Manchester United are now on to potentially win the treble after winning the 2 domestic competitions. Can we put it all together in the Premier League? There were some very huge victories in the last few months this season, including a 1-0 against Arsenal, a 4-0 against Chelsea, and a 2-1 against Man City, but none bigger than the 2-1 on the final day of the season and an 88th minute goal from Aiden Heaven, which made Manchester United Premier League champions on 76 points. 23 wins, 7 draws, 8 losses. But none of that matters, because as you can see at the top here, an FA Cup win, a Champions League win, and a Premier League win means that after 12 years, using only Youth Academy stars and this team you see on screen right now, we have made Manchester United treble winners once again. The likes of Shea Lacey coming into the first team and dominating. Kai Rooney in this final season grabbing 31 goals and 7 assists. Chidowobi grabbing 34 goals and 13 assists. And JJ Gabriel with 12 goals and 19 assists. In this rebuild, we have proved that it is all about the United DNA, the youth, courage, and the success. And I hope United get back to this way. Maybe not only Youth Academy players, but utilising our youth once more. And I hope over the next months we see that with players going off to AFCON. I hope we see Mainu. I hope we see Shea Lacey. And I hope we see Amarim really start to trust the youth once again. This has been the Manchester United Youth Only rebuild. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.